All right, baby, we're going to go out west again.
We have been out west a lot today. In fact, I'm pretty tired because we've ran out west now 3 times.
We're going to go out to a place that has some of the darkest skies in the lower 48.
Ah, I love dark skies at night.
That with my astrophotography. You know, I love that, so I'm excited about this. And we're going to go where the site of the Battle of the Little Bighorn happened. Where are we taking everybody to?
We're actually going to go to a big chunk of southeast Montana.
Put your seatbelts on.
Because here we go.
This is RV Destinations Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the RV Destinations Podcast. I am Randy Beheimer, president of RV Destinations Magazine and Podcast, and I'm here with my lovely, beautiful, talented, and all the wonderful
adjectives which
adjectives
make me who I am in your eyes.
This is becoming a thing.
It became a thing today.
All right. My beautiful wife, Caly Beheimer, who is the editor-in-chief of RV Destinations Magazine, co-host of RV Destinations Podcast. Mm-hmm. Thank you for joining us. We're really excited because we're going to we're going back out west. As you know, I love the West. We just got done recording a couple Western podcast today. It's been a day of all West.
It has been a day of West.
Anyway, we're going to be taking you out to Southeast Montana. You want to bring on our guest?
Yes, we're going to bring on our guest. On the line with us today, we have Wendy Swenson, and she is the Executive Director of Visit Southeast Montana. Hi, Wendy. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you guys for having us.
Yes, we are so excited to have you on. And we were talking offline. So Visit Southeast Montana, you said covers 13 counties and 32,000 square miles. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, so a lot to do and see in that chunk. And for folks that are listening, tell us geographically, kind of the top further, I guess it would be the northwestern corner of the state that you cover, if that makes sense.
What?
Yeah, okay, so it's southeast, right? And for everybody watching online, it's now going to make sense. So southeast, but they're down in this corner, but there's a northwest corner of the southeast.
She lost me too, Wendy. I have no idea where she.
So what area do you cover? The cold medicine's kicking in.
Maybe generically, just tell us the area like you told us offline here.
Absolutely. So we cover from Billings, Montana, which is kind of that eastern central part of the state, all the way over to the North Dakota, South Dakota borders, and down to Wyoming. So we have a good chunk of the southeast part of the state.
Perfect. See, that what I was trying to say is like Billings was the most northwestern part of that chunk.
Well,
see, in my head, it makes perfect sense.
I knew what you were saying. You were just complicating it very, very much.
I probably did. That's kind of my MO.
Well, anyway, so let's talk a little bit about the area. And I know you've got a big area and a lot of different cities and towns and a lot of history there. Mm-hmm. But tell us a little bit about, what surprises visitors for coming into the area. What is there to do?
Yeah, I think what surprises people the most, as you guys were talking about, is the geography. We get a lot. Most people in their eyes, they're very familiar with the western part of the state, the big mountains, the glaciers, the national parks. And I think they just assume the rest of the state is just flat as a pancake. And so I think as you guys were talking, you were saying, hey, we saw the Badlands on there, kind of reference those to the Dakotas. We definitely have those. We've got the breaks. We've got the Badlands. We have really great rock formations from history and things like that. So that's where it really plays into our favor. We've got some of those hoodoos in Makoshika State Park, and we've got those rolling canyons and things like that people don't necessarily expect until they hit the road and get to our part of the state.
We're guilty. We're absolutely guilty because every time we've come through Montana, it's coming through that area to get to Glacier, to get to, I'm sad to say that, but we're trying to be more conscious of that and staying in smaller towns. We've hit a lot of the big parks now, and we're trying to do the smaller places that you don't, you just don't think of.
Right. Because everybody, it's easy to think of big cities. It really is, or the big national parks. And then I think for a lot of folks, which is why I'm so excited that we're doing more of these on our podcast, for a lot of folks, you don't think of smaller towns to go and visit, but there's so much to see. And I feel like that's where you get to really dig in and feel like a local and hang out with locals.
Right. Yeah. And I think for us, we've got our gateways communities are really touching on that history and things like that. So you've got Hardin, and like we were talking about the Crow Reservation and Crow Agency coming up in the Little Bighorn Battlefield, which is one of our 2 national monuments along the way. I-94 runs through here, and 90 going and 212 going down to the Dakotas. So we hit a lot of those historical spots. And so for families and their RVs, and for those that are into dinosaurs and history, we are the area, we are the spot in the state to be.
And to our listeners here, we've been making a big effort to bring to you these hidden gem locations. And, again, we all can figure out what to do in Yellowstone and Glacier and stuff like that. But we're bringing to you more and more destination content like this of these places that you might not think of. Maybe rather than just passing through it, as Caly and I have been guilty of, maybe it's time to stop. So let's jump in and talk about, so there's, and I might mispronounce this, the Makoshika and the Terry Badlands. Can you tell us a little bit about that? How bad did I mispronounce it? Makoshika. Makoshika.
Makoshika. You were so not close, honey.
Well, it's because I know the native Indian language really well.
Oh, so well. So well.
You nailed Terry Badlands, though. So
right. You get bonus points there.
But that's very American. That's spelled very American.
Yeah, so Makoshika is the largest state park in Montana, and we have 8 state parks in our region. So Makoshika is really known for those rock formations. It has a lot of dinosaur history to it. So it's one of the places on our dinosaur trail across the state. They have different events up there throughout the year, and they're close to Glendive. So they're close to the North Dakota border. So if you're coming across from Medora or Teddy Roosevelt, we're right there. Glendive's a great place to stop. They're on the Yellowstone River. Then you've got Makoshika for your camping and RVing and history and dinosaur and hiking. So a lot of great things there, a lot of great unique places, plus the dark skies, which you mentioned earlier, and you can't beat that. So that's a huge draw for people these days.
Now, is that kind of a continuation of those formations in North Dakota? Is that what I'm hearing? Is it because I know exactly what you're talking about? Okay.
Yep, a lot of it is. It's very similar. They kind of all connect. They kind of run that same corridor. It's that river corridor that runs through there, the Yellowstone and everything, and how some of that has changed that landscape and rock formations and things like that. So yeah, it's very continuous. You kind of tend to see it from state to state, and we've got programs where we're trying to connect a trail from our region all the way over through Medora. So working with those guys as partners, and hopefully we'll have a big trail that'll connect here in the next few years.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
We haven't spent much time, but the magazine, we've covered it many times. As we've got several writers that write for the magazine. We've covered Medora many, many times, and that looks like an amazing place. We've driven through there and have seen the rock formations from whatever it is, 90, 80, whatever it is there. But now, is that also the Terry Badlands, or is that something different?
So once you get west of there, then you're into the Terry Badlands. So it is a portion of it. Makoshika is just to the north of that, and then as you travel further west a little bit, then you're into the Badland area with all the coulees and the rolling hills and things like that, and lots of great hiking and stargazing in that area as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
and I got to go back to the state park, the Makoshika State Park. I pulled these images up online. Folks, get out there and Google this, because OMG, it is gorgeous, like stunningly beautiful. These rock formations are crazy cool. And then there's literally like jaw bones and teeth fossils from dinosaurs. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Like, wow, that is a gorgeous state park. Okay, sorry, I had to digress. I had to brag about this.
It's good. You're absolutely right. And we're going to be in Gardner, Montana, and leaving there and coming right through this area. So
look at all these stops we got to add on our podcast today.
So history is obviously everywhere there in your area, from dinosaurs to Native Americans, stories and all that. Let's talk a little bit about maybe Little Bighorn. That probably draws a lot of people to your area, of course, but. What else is there to do in the area there?
Yeah, absolutely. So you've got the battlefield, which is our number one visited site in the region. Thousands of people a year come through for that. This year is actually the 150th anniversary of that battle. And so Not only
wow.
are they having a big event at the end of June, we've got some of the smaller battles along the way, along 212 that led up to that battle that are happening too, and some reenactments. A lot of Native American history along that route. You've got the trading post right off the highway there in Hardin. Hardin's a great little city with some great shops and restaurants to visit and stay. If you go, depending which way you come, if you come up 90 and come into our area, you've got Billings, which is kind of our little metropolis in the region. They've got the airport, and they're kind of that big city, but also they're just that small city feel. So a lot of really great restaurants, locally owned, well known, also some locally owned shops. So Billings is kind of that stop and hub in the area. And then if you're traveling, outdoor recreation is one of our major attractions as well. So we've got fishing on the Yellowstone River. We've got fishing on the Tongue River, a lot of lakes and reservoirs in the region as well. So that fish year round. So we've got a little bit for everybody. And you get into that area where we call the rims, which are other rock formations over the Yellowstone River. So a lot of unique places like that.
Gotcha. One thing that popped up, and I don't know if it's geographically close to Little Bighorn, but Pompey's Pillar. Do you know anything about Pompey's Pillar?
Absolutely. Yeah. They're less than an hour outside of Billings, about an hour and a half from the battlefield, on the Lewis and Clark Trail. And that again is another really cool rock formation. There's hiking trails. They're on the river. And that's where Lewis and Clark, they, engraved their signatures right into the rock, and it's still there today to view.
Oh, wow. That's really cool. I just pulled that up online too. That's really, really neat.
Yeah, I'd never heard of it. That's interesting. There's so much out there that you just don't know of and don't think of, but hi, we're Randy and Caly, and we're the creators and publishers of RV Destinations magazine and podcast. And here we are starting a new project, and that is RV Destination Life. It's our new lifestyle channel where we're going to take you along with us into our life and into the different destinations we go, where we can do a deep dive into what to do and see in these various locations. But why did we start this channel?
We are RV Destinations magazine. We've had a lot of people ask us if we had a channel and if we ever thought of starting one. We were a little hesitant at first because it's us. Like, it's our life. We decided, heck, why not? Rip off the Band-Aid. Let's go ahead and do it, because we felt like we could maybe share some cool stuff with you guys along the way.
We've got 30-something writers with the magazine. Caly still writes the feature destination. I'm very involved in a lot of the creative from the photography side because that's my background. And so we just thought we would share those tips and tricks and how we do things, and thought it'd be interesting for you guys to watch.
And then sprinkle in our life along the way, what it's like to be a full-time RVer in the mix and middle of all of that.
Very excited to start this new adventure of RV Destination Life. We would like to invite you to come join us on this journey. Every Sunday at 6 p.m. we're going to be releasing a new episode, so come join us.
Come follow us, the publishers of RV Destinations magazine, as we travel across America in search of the extraordinary. From hidden gem campgrounds to breathtaking landscapes. From behind-the-scenes scouting trips to capturing the perfect cover shot. This is more than travel. It's our full-time life on the road. Join us as we explore, create, and share the stories that inspire your next adventure. This is RV Destination Life.
Now tell us a little bit about the dinosaur-related magic there. There's a lot of dinosaur prehistoric life going on there in southeastern Montana.
Yeah, absolutely. That is one of the draws for families. We have what we call our dinosaur trail. It has over a dozen stops on it. You get a passport. You get prizes if you finish. So that's a really family-centric, but also some diehard paleontologists. Like, there is what we call the Dino Shindig in Ekalaka every year in August, and it sells out. People just love to go to that multi-day dig and see what they can find. And quite a few museums on the way. We've got 4 on that trail just in our region alone. So some really, really interesting stories and artifacts behind that.
That would be really cool to get like a passport and go around all the...
and think of how amazing that is just for kids, not only the paleontologists, but like kids that are like, whoa, dinosaurs, and to get to see real fossils. Like, up close like that.
That would be.
That'd be a
amazing.
blast.
And I guess the state park we talked about. I'm going to butcher it again. I'm not going to say it. Mokoshika, Makoshika.
Honey, you are so stinking cute, and I love you so much.
There's a lot of dinosaurs there, and then also a place called Glendive.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Glendive has one of the museums on our stop too. They've got quite a few displays there. Their visitor center is fabulous. So we highly recommend them coming across the border and making a stop there. And they've got great campgrounds and everything right outside the state park. So great access, great little community.
Now, you've also got, and this is something that we've really been looking for, quiet places. We're always in the busy places, but you've got a natural recreational area that's pretty low key, and Bighorn Canyon is what I'm reading. Is that correct?
We do. We share that with Wyoming. We partner with them. That is actually also on the Crow Agency. So like the boat rentals and things like that happen in the canyon and on the reservoir are all run by our partners on the Crow Agency. There's also some campgrounds and lodges down there and guided fishing. So it is truly one of those hidden gems that people don't realize is there. And it's just gorgeous. Those canyon walls, and there's paddle. It's quiet enough. It's paddle boarding, and you can get out there on the pontoon, and there's great fishing, and it's a really nice place to be.
Yeah, so maybe tell us some about. You can take over whenever you want.
You haven't given me a chance.
I'm just so excited.
I can tell. I'm like,
there's just so much to do. I'm like, let's turn our RV north and head there in the snow.
Not in the snow, babe. We got to wait till it warms up.
So tell us, you covered such a vast part of Montana. Tell us maybe some about some of the small local town charm. Some of the names that are popping up here are Miles City, Terry, Glendive, are some of the cities that just pulled up here on our research. Yep. But maybe tell us a little bit about some of the popular small town, quirky little towns.
Yeah, absolutely. Miles City is one of those. It's probably bigger than you think. You look on the map and it doesn't look that big, especially compared to Billings or something like that. But it's got a great mix of things, your bigger shopping to your little boutiques and coffee shops. And what they're really known for is their annual bucking horse sale. It kind of kicks off our rodeo season. It's actually known internationally. People come from all over. They've got the rodeo, they've got the concerts, everything that goes on that weekend. It's always in May. This year's their 75th anniversary for that. So that is one of the great little cities we love to show off, and a lot of people know in the region. Terry is a unique little town. It's got some really cute shops, great people there. Some of our state ambassadors are there and have been recognized, and they're great about telling you where to go all over the region. So Prairie Unique there is always one of our favorites. We send them over to Dale and his wife, and they talk about the region, and they love to talk about the agates and the rock hounding in the area and the history there. You go south, we talked about Ekalaka a little bit with the dinosaurs and everything. They're the ones that really kind of anchor that trail. But there's a lot of little communities that are good for, really, people are going for outdoor recreation. They're coming for that hunting, that fishing aspect, like Broadus. Again, each of these communities has just those little unique shops and restaurants that kind of go around. We've also, we've got our burger trail. So we shoot people all over the region. And again, another passport for you to pick up and eat with the burgers. So
now, where would they pick? Would they get those passports from the visitor center, or online? Download them online?
So they're all online. So they're web-based. So you can track on your app. You keep your points, and then you can sign up for prizes as you hit your milestones.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Yeah, that would be fun.
That would be a ton of fun.
Passport and a burger.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got some really good burger in Buffalo.
Yeah.
I told them they should do a burger tour there, but so I'm hugely fascinated with the Native American story, specifically kind of to the Indian Wars and all that. And so that's why I love the whole area, because it's just so rooted in history. But how can an RV or a visitor coming to the area kind of experience that side of the culture and everything? Is there different festivals or powwows or anything like that in the area?
Yeah, absolutely. So they're kind of in our lower corridor, our 212 corridor, right along there, everywhere from that Dakota-Wyoming border and across. So starting in Lame Deer, they've got a great cultural center there, and they are always welcome. Love to show off their cultural assets there and talk about the Northern Cheyenne reservation there. Then you can kind of bop over along that. Then you've got the Rosebud Battlefield. That's where one of the smaller battles happened leading up to the Battle of Little Bighorn. And then obviously, other historic stops and sites along the way. And then the battlefield is obviously our biggest draw, ending there at that intersection of 212 coming north.
Sure. And we've only been there one time, and we had the dogs with us. We didn't have long. We were kind of passing through again. And
passing through.
So we keep saying I want to redo, and we are going to redo it when we leave Yellowstone this year. And because I want to go out in there, I want to do the driving tour. I understand that driving tour is wonderful. You learn a lot about, because I've read books, and it's hard to vision. Like Reno was over here, Custer was over here, and it's hard to get that without being there. Understanding what hill ridge this person was on and stuff like that. And so yeah, we're very, very excited to come back here. Did you have something you wanted to add?
Do I get to talk? Oh, yay! Oh, I'm so excited. Wendy, I'm going to ask a question. I'm so excited. So obviously there's a lot of outdoor fun stuff to do in Southeast Montana. What is there like any one in particular outdoor activity that ends up kind of being surprising? People probably come maybe for dinosaurs, but do they leave going, wow, I had no idea that XYZ was here instead?
Yeah, I think, there's probably two. There's a lot, and both have to do with rocks and and the geography. So you've not only got rock hounding is becoming a really big niche. And for us, there's some really great agates along with our fossils and everything. Yellowstone River along the bed is like a perfect area. We have a landing page on our website that talks all about the different sites to go to and has a little map, and that's in our guide as well. So I think that's one thing we're seeing. We hear from partners with their Airbnbs and our lodging properties that people come to the region just to find those things. And then probably rock climbing. People don't think about it because they think the area is flat. But we do have a lot of rock climbers that come to the area, and we've got great places here in Billings on the rims and state parks and things that they can take part in that activity as well.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because you're right. I never would have thought of Montana as a place to rock climb at all. Yeah, and then what is the other one? The rock hunting? What were you calling it?
Yeah, rock hounding is what they
rock
what they call it.
Okay.
The experts call it. I am not one. But yeah, that's another thing. They go out, they look for those gems and those agates and those specialized stones that they can find. Okay. We've heard along the riverbeds are the best places, obviously. But yeah, that is another big thing that people come specifically to our region to participate in.
Oh, that's great.
So if an RVer is coming into the area or any traveler, where would you recommend them to go? Because it is such a big place. Let's say they had 5 days that they could spend in the area. What would you recommend? What would be the highlight of the places? Like I would hit the Terry Badlands. I would hit this. I'd do Custer's Battlefield. Maybe give us some of the highlights of what you would hit in 5 days.
Yeah, I think if you want to do a 5-day trip, you're not obviously going to see the whole region. And what's kind of nice is we can do loops throughout the region. So if you came in, say, from the south and hit the battlefield first, if you're into history, I would say kind of go east along 212, hit some of the other battlefields and historic sites, and then go north through Coal Strip up to I-94, and you're going to hit Miles City. Then you're right there by the Terry Badlands and Makoshika. So you could kind of stay in that direction. If you want to hit the bigger cities, then, stay over on the western side and hit Billings and things like that. So.
Gotcha. Do you offer itineraries on your website?
Yes, they do.
Oh, they do.
Yep. We do have some itineraries. We have some hub and spoke itineraries from different parts of the region. So, and then we have kind of like what you say, what's a great 3-day trip? What's a great 5-day trip?
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. And for folks listening, that is southeastmontana.com. You can visit their website and they have a great plan your trip section.
So looking at the camping in the area, are you familiar with the camping at all in the area? Because we're all a bunch of RVers. We have to figure out where we're going to park our home. Maybe give us some of the... I know there's 1 or 2 down by Custer's Battlefield because I've looked at those. But maybe tell us a little bit about if we're going to go to this region, here's a good park. And I know you don't want to play favoritism given your spot, but maybe you could just mention a few of them.
Yeah, I think it really depends on obviously what you're traveling in and what your comfort level is. But like you said, there's campgrounds, full hookups and everything down by the Bighorn Canyon. And again, by the battlefield, just outside of Billings, we've got a KOA. Miles City has different ones. All the state parks have campgrounds that you can access for different size vehicles. So, yeah, I think any of those, obviously you want to stay up in the Badlands or Strawberry Hill or anything like that. They're right there. Glendive has some great options. A lot of them have that river access or reservoir access. So, it's going to be beautiful country, and you're going to be under the dark skies. So.
And you've got it on your website here.
Mm-hmm.
I actually went on your website. We usually pull up Google and just see different campgrounds in the area, but I'm on your website and I see, so the one we were going to stay at is your very first one listed, 7th Ranch RV Camp, which is right there, right outside of the Battle Little Bighorn. But you've got them all listed here, and you can click right over, it looks like, to their website and be able to get more information.
Yep.
So again, that southeasternmontana.com, that's the website.
Southeastmontana.com.
Oh, I said Eastern, didn't I?
Yeah.
Southeastmontana.com.
Yes.
The details. My wife's
Right?
the detail person. I'm the big dreamer.
He is the dreamer. He is.
All right. Well, we want to be respectful of your time, and so we want to end with a question. Well, two questions. Caly kind of touched on this, but I want to be more direct, more specific. So, what is what's one of the places that's little known that people just are completely surprised? I know, Caly, that's kind of the way you phrase it, isn't it?
Well, I've talked about activities in particular.
Yeah, but what's one of the things that people come in the area again, and well, you did say it kind of like this.
I did. I am so good. I already covered it.
But what are some of the hidden gems in the area people don't think about when they come?
Yeah, maybe hidden gem locations.
Yeah, I think probably one for us that people don't realize is probably on the very eastern part of the state, Medicine Rocks, one of our state parks. It's probably one of our lesser knowns, but it is one of the dark sky sanctuary designated areas in the country. So some of the best for starry nights and that kind of stuff, and hiking. Tons of trails that people don't know about in there, but very accessible. And so, yeah, I would say that's probably one of my favorites. So, and then.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's fair enough. And Caly did ask a version of that story. That's why I was pausing and acting awkward there, because I was like, wait a minute, she kind of asked it this way. So, all right. So my last question is, well, first of all, is there anything that we missed that you think is very important that we should let our listeners know about before we go to the last question?
Yeah, other than, don't be afraid to come and travel. It does look intimidating because it is so vast. Obviously, like we mentioned, how many square miles it is, but really there's a lot of connectivity. So there's towns, you're really never going to travel probably more than an hour or two without being in a town and being connected, or having a place to stay or stop and eat. So I think that's what we tell people the most, is really how accessible it is. And so with all the places to be and stay. So that's something we definitely want to get the word out about.
Okay. All right. Now I'm putting you on the spot here. I did not give her any forewarning I was going to do this. And now we usually only do this with rangers from the national parks when we have them on the show, but I'm going to do it to you because you've got a large area. So if you were leaving the area, never to come back into the area, you had to move to Hawaii or whatever, it doesn't matter. You make up whatever story you want. What's the last thing you would do in Southeast Montana before you left? Like, I want to experience this one last time because I just love it that much. What would you do?
So we are big outdoors people. And this hits pretty close to home because we actually did leave the state. We'd been here for over 20 years, and we did leave the state and go to Alaska for 3 years. And I did state marketing up there, and had the opportunity to come back. And so this was really like coming home. We kind of grew up here. So, other than our Midwest growing up, this was really our home. So, coming back, and one of the things that brought us back was the outdoor recreation, because we hunt and fish. And so I would say, if I were to leave, like, I'm going down to Tongue River Reservoir and I'm going camping and fishing for a week or whatever and disconnecting, and it's beautiful down there. So that's one of my favorite spots in the region, and I would encourage people to go there.
That's great.
That's incredible. Yeah, no, thank you for sharing with that. And I know that was a little bit of personal opinion, and we appreciate you stepping out there and saying that. Do you have anything, baby? You have anything we missed?
I don't. You did such a fine job asking all the questions today.
Well, I am not going to pay you for this podcast since I ran the whole show.
You never do anyway.
Well, Wendy, thank you so much for being on the show, and thank you for working with us. We had to reschedule this because we had technical problems about a month ago, a little bit longer. So thank you for being very flexible with us. And Hey, baby, you want to take us out?
Yes. Thank you so much, Wendy, for joining us today and talking about visiting Southeast Montana. And again, that website is southeastmontana.com. They have a lot of great resources for you folks out there that are interested in traveling to this area. And thank you so much for joining us today on the podcast, whether you're listening on the audio side, wherever you find wherever you find any of your podcasts that you listen to, or if you're joining us on the YouTube side so you can see our happy, shiny faces. Thank you so much, especially if you're still listening right now. And don't forget to check out our website, rvdestinationsmagazine.com, where we have a ton of great free travel resources for you out there. And we just really want to thank you for joining us today.
Safe travels.
Safe travels, y'all.